What is up, Christway family? This is episode 6 of the Christway podcast. Today's guest is M.O.G. We talk about how he went from being born on Skid Row to being a key leader in his community in Hemet, how he has been developing in the CHH space, and how he is using his ministry, All Christ Kingdom, to bring Jesus to the streets. Let's go. All right, bro, tell me about your trip here. How was it?
It was great. I don't mind. I don't mind driving for Kingdom work, man. Yeah, I was excited the whole way here, bro. We were just bumping, some music, man, and I was just like, you know what? Like I'm hearing like the big artists like Hog Mob and Miles on there. I'm like, you know what? The Lord is really, really moving, and He's taking people from the trenches and uh and making it work with them, man. So it just gives me hope for for this new season coming up, brother.
And you grew up in Hemet.
Yeah. So I was reborn in Hemet.
Okay.
So I grew into a man in Hemet.
Yeah.
So that is my home.
Yeah.
And I grew up in a lot of places, but Hemet is my home. Hemet is where Jesus was like, this is where I
Yeah.
need you to be a staple in this community.
So that's like a long-term goal is to
That
stay there.
this is my home for
Yeah.
right. Yeah. The streets out there are looking like the streets that out here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So who better to navigate through those streets than somebody that's already came from them?
And what's the CHH scene like there? Because
Nothing, bro.
nothing at all.
Nothing, bro. So
How did you get that many people then to your event? How
all word of
just-
mouth.
and yeah,
all word of mouth, right? And
2,000 you said?
yeah, there was 2,000 people that pulled up to the
Amen.
event. So all word of mouth, and it's when there's heavy hitters in the kingdom that are based out of the same city, right? And all have one mindset of blessing the community.
Yeah.
Because it's crazy because within the last year, there's been people moving to Hemet, different ministries and things
Yeah.
like that, but nobody has really done anything like this. They've always thought about doing it or talked about
Yeah.
it, because other cities like in LA County, San Bernardino, Orange County are doing it.
Yeah.
And I think it's because the division of the churches within our cities,
Yeah.
and San Jacinto, Hemet.
It's like gangs.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro, because we're dealing with politics, but the cause for blessing the children, I think that right there, right, the generation, the church of now, which is the children, I think that's what brought everybody together.
Yeah.
What was, you know what? Because a lot of people run from when you say it's a church event, right? But this is a community event. We
Yeah.
need everybody, saved or unsaved, to come together right now to let the youth know that people out here care about them. We don't want them to end up on these streets.
Yeah.
Because it's a very plausible outcome for some individuals, whether they're in a home or not.
Yeah. And how did you put it together? Because from inception to when you thought of it, how long did it take you to put it together? And then it wasn't just CHH. You had cars.
Oh yeah,
singers.
yeah. So so this was I would say 4 or 5 months.
Oh wow.
Thing that we. It wasn't just me either. So I do appreciate everybody that came out and helped spread the word and helped with volunteering and things like that, because it literally took a village.
Yeah.
The village in Hemet and San Jacinto to make this happen. God just gave it to me and it basically like a dream. So it was like, you know what, this is what we want you to do. Because when we first started All Christ Kingdom Ministries, we were just aiming at the homelessness in our cities. But then I started, as I started fellowshipping with other churches, I started seeing the division in churches. And then I thought about our name, which was All Christ Kingdom. And it's like, no, we all got to come together. So my main goal in my community right now is to do these events, not only just at my home church where this first one was, but at other churches as well, so we can get everybody to come together.
Yeah.
And the time is now to armor up, bro.
Yeah. No, it was real dope. And the lineup was stacked too. Angel,
Oh yeah,
Angel were able to
it
go.
was
Yeah,
vicious. The lineup was specifically. I literally asked God who I need in this
yeah,
lineup, right? Because I'm not saying that that there's artists that aren't up to par or anything like that, but I
yeah.
wanted every artist that got up there and every minister that got up there to hit an individual
Mm,
that was there.
yeah,
So the Lord literally gave me this lineup from R&B to jazz to mariachi
yeah,
music, like the whole get down.
yeah.
And it was an awesome time, bro. I was so blessed and humbled by the
Yeah.
outcome.
All right. So with the community outreach event this Saturday, like the lineup you picked, how did you get in touch with those artists? Because I know you had a bunch of them on your event.
Yeah,
Are they like close to you or
Revival Fest.
really? Like that's
Bro,
all.
nobody knew who M.O.G was, bro, who I was until Revival
Yeah,
Fest, until Christway made it
yeah,
happen where they picked everybody. Because
yeah,
if it wasn't for you picking everybody that basically
yeah.
did something, nobody would even heard of M.O.G, bro.
That's crazy.
and
That's so
and
crazy.
I'm fairly new to CHH. Like
Mm,
I'm in the process right now of making my first mixtape. So I've only been doing worship music for the last year.
yeah. And you
And
dropped 2 singles now, right?
yeah, so well I have a total of 9 that I'm about to just
Oh,
drop back
okay.
to back for the
Yeah,
next
that's good.
9 months. But I've only dropped 2
Yeah,
on all streaming platforms. But I've been putting in work, know that.
yeah,
Like I got some I feel like my debut on the ciphers
yeah.
wasn't a one thing of,
Yeah,
what the Lord has blessed me with my gift.
yeah. No,
So
that's crazy. Like me and Angel were just talking about like through our collaborations and our like eagerness to just keep
mhm,
building, like so many things have like snowballed from there.
yeah,
Like there's things and just all these connections
yeah.
are being made and it's just like it's so dope that we're already working on
Oh yeah.
the next one.
Oh
And
yeah.
like what can happen from there. Like
Facts.
and that's crazy. So touching I know we touched that last interview a little bit about your testimony. Do you mind like doing like a
No.
recap?
All
Just
right.
share, yeah.
So I'll start a little bit from the beginning to where I'm now. So
In the beginning.
yeah. So I was born on Skid Row. My mother was an heroin addict, so I was there
Mm,
for the first about 6 years of my life.
wow.
So I literally grew up in the gutters, bro.
Yeah.
And then I got introduced to gang banging and human trafficking and selling drugs and things like that. System got a hold of me. CPS
Yeah.
got a hold of me. Then I started going to different institutions. I've been to a total of 65 different institutions in California for
Wow.
children.
Yeah.
Um, and then the Lord placed me in the IE, started in Temecula at a group home, and but I still was going back and forth to out here in East Los Angeles and back there. Yeah, just still running amok. Then I landed in Hemet and got lost out there. Got
Yeah.
super super lost. Started using fentanyl out there. Fentanyl was getting big out
Wow.
there. Um, and that was one of the things my family didn't know till recently. Truthfully, it just thought I was on meth, but
Yeah.
I started using fentanyl, and it made me into this monster, bro.
Yeah.
This violent person, um, and suicidal things like that. And then there was one instance where I wanted to commit suicide so bad, right? Where it was like, you know what, either I'm gonna shoot myself. Then I felt like, you know what, I don't want to do it myself. I would just want somebody else to do it. Used to cross the street. Used to cross the street in Hemet. There's a main street called Florida, and then there's another cross street by the name of Lion. So it was for months, bro. It was closing my eyes and high traffic, walking across
Dang.
the street for months, bro, and not one car hit me, bro. And then I got a job at Powerhouse Gym in San Jacinto as basically like the cleaner. And I was hearing about God. We were doing a grief counseling grief shared through the church, uh, due to my brother-in-law's passing, and that's where I kind of heard about Jesus Christ again. And so yeah, I was cleaning a urinal at Powerhouse Gym, and I was already on my knees. So I was like, you know what? Like, might as well do it. You know, I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready. Like doing the suckiest job I could ever imagine right now.
Yeah.
Right, was cleaning somebody's
Yeah.
urinal. You know what I mean? And I'm like, you know what? The Lord has better plans for me. Um, and I'm just tired. You know, I was just
Yeah.
tired, bro. From the street life to seeing even in the gym, like normal people still using drugs, still doing all the stuff that I'm used to seeing. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what? This is supposed to be different, right?
Yeah.
So I needed something different for my life. Just another perspective through my eyes, right? I needed to see light, joy, peace, right? Because everywhere I was seeing was chaos. And I needed it in my life. I needed peace. There was something that I've yearned for my whole life, and that was just peace.
Yeah.
Um, and literally, bro, after that very second, that's what I felt,
Wow.
and I wouldn't turn back at all, bro.
Yeah, I want to get a little more into that just because I mean I didn't do the drugs that you did. I was more like
Yeah,
alcoholism. I would experiment with things, but mostly like party things. But um, man, you saying the peace thing, like that really hits home for me because I think through the trauma that I experienced, like I was sexually
yeah,
abused and stuff like that as a kid. And other, trauma things, daddy issues or whatever.
yeah,
My dad was a gangbanger and always in prison. Um, like peace, I would always run to alcohol for peace. Like that was a one time when I was drunk or high or something that I felt like I could shut down my brain for a little bit. I didn't have to have my mask on no
yeah.
more. So like finding that in Jesus has been so much because
Amen,
you don't find peace in
amen.
drugs and
Oh
alcohol.
no,
You think you do,
yeah,
but it just gets worse
yeah,
and you don't get to the root of it. Um so yeah, that's how I was actually in rehab when I surrendered and gave my life to Jesus Christ. And then so like what got you off of drugs? Was it like that moment?
it literally was Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
really.
Because I've
Wow.
done NA programs, I've done outpatient, inpatient,
Yeah, yeah, me too.
I've done 5150 places where they had
Mhm.
me, on sleeping meds and all this other stuff. Because I was
Same.
when
Same.
when I say I was a wild person, I
Yeah.
mean like I was the total opposite of who I am now.
Dude,
Um,
my
a-
goodness. I say that all the
you
time.
know, so it's I was a bad person, bro.
Yeah.
I shouldn't even be here, bro. Let's
Mhm.
say it like that. I shouldn't even be alive nor with my freedom.
Yeah.
And so literally it was then, bro.
Wow.
And and I know, right? When I say it's a 24-hour change, literally it was
Yeah.
like my whole heart changed within that second. And yeah, I'm still working on the fleshly things I do, and by the
Sanctification.
yeah,
Yeah,
by the
yeah.
grace of God, He's removing
Mhm.
the layers from me, right? But as far as my heart, I got a brand new heart, bro.
Yeah.
I need a transplant, bro. And He was like, "Here you go,"
That's so dope.
and I will never stop loving Him for that.
Yeah. No, man, there's like you don't deserve or we
Yeah,
I'm just talking about you.
no, we
We
good.
all don't deserve like that mercy.
Oh no, not at all.
And if someone's listening and they are battling addiction or something, like one thing that like I've been telling myself over and over is like we don't have to be ashamed, like we all make mistakes, and that Jesus, we don't have to wear our marks because
Yeah,
Jesus wore our marks for us. So it's like once we have that change, we have that acceptance, we could move confidently in that we
amen,
are new creations. We are
amen.
being regenerated. Um, but man, so like after that, how soon into that did you like start getting to ministry? Like, can you tell me of the birth of
Um,
all Christ's kingdom and how you decided
yeah.
to
So
push that?
God kind of works through me in the way my mind works. Right, is like I get these literally like ideas or
Yeah,
like dreams, or it could be even be when I'm awake, bro.
yeah,
And I had this vision, bro, where a homeless person had walked up to me, and asked for some food, and I told him no, and literally was naked, bro, like no clothes on.
Oh, wow.
And it was like, what the heck? So I was like, what does that mean for my life? You know what I mean? And then I was like, you know what? We're gonna make a ministry. We're gonna pray about it, but
Hmm.
we're gonna make a ministry for these streets out here because there's nobody doing it. Um, and then All Christ Kingdom was born. Um, and then it's just been elevating, bro.
Yeah.
We go to this park by our house where we cook. I bring my taco grill. We cook for the homeless, give them hygiene supplies. Just vibe with them.
Yeah.
Let them know that they're our neighbors, whether they have a house or not. Like I see them every day, whether that's outside of the supermarket, inside of the supermarket, stealing stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
I literally see them through my community. So who am I not to know their names or know their faces or just walk right over them like they're just there?
Yeah.
And it's like, so it the love that the Lord has given to us, and it's crazy to see us actually use it to other people that all they get is a fake smile because people just want to walk by them, and the ones that want to help them is to shut them up. And it's
Yeah.
like, no, 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 I want to get to know who you are. You know what I mean? I want to know, I want to know you, so I could better love on you. So
Yeah.
because each individual is different. So it's like the people that we are meeting, we are getting to know what they do on the street because they don't care about, they live there. So
Yeah.
it's like, oh, that's the person that walks all these dogs, or that's the person that sits right here. Boom. It's like, but what is their names?
Yeah.
What are their relationship to you, right? Um, I just want to show people. We just want to show people that we care about them and we really love them.
Yeah.
That's the main focus, bro. So
Love
it
it.
started with the homeless road, but now it's it's not just for the streets. It's for the church as well because we're seeing a lot of churches either dying or not wanting to work with other churches and things like that. And it's like, no, we're all Christ's,
Yeah.
like literally all Christ's.
So when was like what was your first event like that you did with All Christ Kingdom?
Um, our first event we did as far as music.
Yeah, yeah. I'm kind
Okay,
of
as
like
far as music, there's a guy named by the past. He goes by Pastor Shady. He has a prayer tent ministry. That's what his ministry is called, the
mm,
prayer tent ministries. And he actually is the first prayer tent ministry to uh, get involved with the lowrider scene.
oh, okay.
Like he's going to all these big shows, right? Secular scenes
Yeah.
where there's a prayer tent ministry right in front of it. So if anybody needs prayer going in or anybody needs prayer going out, they're there. And he set up an event in San Jacinto because now he lives there.
Yeah.
And he posted up a flyer, and I was like, I want to be part of this. And I hit him up, and that was my first
Yeah.
ministry event, and then it's just started going from there.
Yeah. So music wise, like obviously now that you have how many you said nine in the
Yeah,
shelf? Nine
9.
in the shelf. Like looking back in your life, what made you like inclined to music? Like can you look back and you knew at that moment just music was a outlet for you that you knew like, oh yeah, eventually you're gonna pursue it.
Oh yeah, so music has always been a big part of my life. Just man, it's a therapy for me as well, right? It's a therapy, but it also lets people know who I am as a person because there's a lot of the times where like even like right now, right, where like I'm usually this like loud outgoing
Yeah.
person, right? So it's like my music literally helps me like show you who I am
Yeah.
and what my heart is really trying to tell you. Uh and I don't have to really worry about like what people think or anything about me. It's always been an escape for me, right?
Yeah.
And there was a time in my life where I was a really violent person, right?
Hmm.
And I figured out that I could say anything in my music, right? Like anything in my music, and whether people were offended or anything by it, like it would fly. It's music,
Yeah.
So that's how I started doing it when I was in the secular side of it. Was when I had beef with somebody, or I had a
Oh,
problem with
dang.
somebody, or there was a situation in my life where I wanted to speak out on it. But I didn't want to do it to the person because I knew it was gonna get in a bigger issue. I would just make it into a song. And now, since I am saved, it's like the Lord is like, you know what, you have something to say. I gave you this style, I gave you this delivery, I gave you this voice. And you better use it. Not you need to use it, you better use it. And I'm like, all right, well, let's do it. And I'm trying to collab with as many people as I can, right? Like literally anybody in SoCal, if you're wanting to collab, I'm with it. I'm trying to have so many collabs with so many people, bro. I know there's a lot of ministers and artists out there that people kind of shut down, you know? And I'm like, nah, let's make something happen.
I mean, like I was speaking about the episode we're recording, like a lot of gatekeeping. But this is, I guess, like a funnier question. Like I've been watching, I think you posted a video in the studio.
Yeah.
Like, how are your vocal cords? Because like I tried to mimic your voice, like in the cipher, like you go, thank you, Jesus Christ, for making this happen.
Yeah.
And I was like, how do you do that?
So that, bro, I truthfully don't know, bro. Once I get in front of that mic, bro, like once I get in front of that mic, it's like, oh, it's on, you know? Like I literally am trying to shred it apart, bro. And it's literally all energy, bro. Like, so I for sure pray before I do anything, right? And because like I said, the style and the deliverance and the cadence of what I do, it's straight from God. So it's like, as you can tell my voice right now, this is my voice. So it's a softer voice than what I do in my music. And it's like,
has it changed? Because I think if you do that, I think you will have like a permanent change.
So it's man, all I know is when I first started doing music for CHH, it was I had a different delivery. It was a different style. And me personally, I didn't feel like it was hitting where it needed to hit. So I was like, God, I need you to work on this craft. And he was like, all right, well, here you go. Boom. And like I said, it's weird how he works, bro. It's weird how he works because I used to dress like, you know, a essay off the street, bro, and he has me looking like a cowboy. You know what I mean? With a West Coast, even South style, like, you know what I mean? Like I'm from the West Coast, but my style isn't West Coast. You know what I mean? Like this is different. This is definitely the Lord's work, bro.
So Romans
12:2.
That when did that drop? That dropped before the cipher?
That was a song that we did in our community to set off all Christ Kingdom Ministries. Like that was like the theme song.
I love the energy on that.
You know, and that's kind of who I am. You know, that's kind of who I am. That's a very West Coast song. And, you know, but that's just who I am, man.
No, I love it. And then how many times had you performed before the cipher?
So before the cipher, I did like 3, like on the secular side or
I'm guessing, because it was more like stage presence. Because I was watching the ciphers just drop, and I was watching it, and like you were really like into the verse.
I'm in it. I'm a people person. Like for sure, I'm a people person, and I'm especially with worship music. I want to make sure people know we're about this business. Like, so I'm gonna make sure ain't nobody sleeping. I'm gonna make sure nobody's sleeping. And that people want to go like this, like wait, what? And that they hear what the Lord is doing through me, because I've never been one to want to even be in the front lines of anything, you know what I mean? Like I want to be with the people. Like I want to be more like, remember when you shot me the first flyer for the event for September, and I was like, hey, can you put me down a little bit, because I want to be with with everybody, like, so. But the Lord is calling me to a front line, right? He's calling me to be somebody that helps lead people as well. Um, so that's kind of what I'm doing with my music, man. But I've been performing. I performed a show in 2013.
Wow.
At on the Queen Mary, I opened up for Sugar Free, ASAP Ferg.
Oh wow.
I've done a show with Odd Future, Tyler the Creator, and
Yeah,
all
yeah.
them. Um, so I've been doing it
Yeah,
for a
and you've been in
minute. You
music,
know what I
yeah, for
mean?
that's a long
But
time.
but but obviously I look Latino, right? And a lot of my music was not accepted by the culture just because I wasn't African American.
Yeah,
And that's kind of who I grew up around, was African American
yeah,
people. So I don't speak Spanish. I don't do so it's like um so that's why my music, I think, didn't go anywhere.
yeah,
But I didn't want to make Christian hip hop. I didn't want to do it. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna put rap aside and just try to just talk to people.
yeah,
And then the Lord was like, no, we need you to make music. And I'm glad I did.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's a long time
Yeah.
of making
Oh
music.
yeah. I learned how to make beats when I was like 12.
Yeah,
And I tried to be a singer at first.
yeah.
And I was like, nah, I don't know about that. And then this came, bro.
Yeah. So, talking about the cipher verse, it just reminded me of one part, and I don't know,
Yeah.
like when you recorded it, it's
Hmm.
something that stuck out to you too. But the first time I heard your voice, when you said "ship," I thought you said a bad word.
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember you.
I was like, "What did you?"
Yeah.
I was
I
like,
remember. I remember you came out. You're like, did you say? And I was like, nah.
yeah, I was like, I was watching the cipher again
Yeah,
yesterday, and I was just like, it really does sound
yeah,
like he says a bad
yeah,
a bad word.
yeah. I
Uh,
say he guides the ship.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I was like, I remember, yeah, I was like, uh-oh, am I gonna have to like send artists like, hey, no
Nah,
cussing,
nah,
no cussing on the
nah,
Christian
nah,
ciphers.
you good, brother.
Yeah, no
That was, you know what? That's crazy that you speak on that, because that was one of the hardest things that I had to navigate through, because
cursing.
because my family's attest to this, right?
Hmm.
Like every word was a swear word, bro, that used to
Yeah,
come out of my mouth. Like whether it was the N word, whether it's like it was just
language. Like, yeah, yeah,
what I grew up around, right? So even having a conversation with you right now, and like pastors and things, like I've had to literally let the Lord transform me into a whole new
yeah,
person. So when you say like he does make you into a whole new person, literally I've had to allow him to do that. So I could be a normal person. So
yeah,
I could glorify him the best way possible, and I can make music without cussing
yeah.
in it.
No, that's actually, I love that you say that because even after getting saved, obviously sanctification is a salvation is instant.
Yeah.
Sanctification is a process,
Yeah.
and that's something that I had to deal with too. Is cursing. I can't lie. A road rage incident, something might
Yeah.
fly out.
Oh yeah, I'm not perfect still. Like I,
It
I
might
still
fly out.
I still catch myself trying not to be entertaining that, Um I literally still have a whole lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Like literally a whole lot of work to do.
Mine too is what I consume. Secular music, I've done such a good job
Yeah.
of cutting it out. And I
Yeah.
try to even, and it, like, there's so many artists I liked, and I'm like, I can't follow them no more because it's what I'm eating isn't
Yeah.
right for me. But one thing that I am still struggling with now that I need to work on is comedy.
Mm.
Like, I allow myself to comedians or certain things that I know what they're
I'm in the
saying.
same boat.
Yeah, because
I'm in the same boat.
I'll repeat things they
Yeah.
say, and I'm just like, even though I won't curse, it's like that humor.
Yeah.
And the Bible says so much about our tongue and how and what we say and the importance of it. So that's something that I'm actively like I don't know if you know Kill Tony, the show Kill
Yeah,
Tony.
yeah.
I used to love that show, and I'm just like I
Yeah.
can't be
Yeah.
consuming that because that's gonna
Yeah.
my humor is gonna go to that. So
Yeah.
that's something I need to polish for sure. But um, speaking about transformation, regeneration, and things that we need to work on, what do you think has been the most challenging part uh, from your past life that you've had to let go, that you've maybe struggled with surrendering it, or one thing, a word that been heavy on me is dependence, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like having to depend on God. Like,
Yeah.
what do you think something that you've struggled with?
That's a few things that can come into my mind, truthfully. But I think that my train of thought, right, as far as I'm I'm usually one person that doesn't think before I act.
Mhm.
So I used to be like a very violent person. So if I didn't like what somebody said, I used to just punch them in the mouth,
Mm.
like, and that's it. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean? And now it's like, you know what? Like everybody is blessed with their opinion and blessed who they are. God
Yeah.
made them too. So I'm still working on that, right?
Yeah.
I'm not punching nobody no more, but I'm
Yeah.
still working on allowing people to say what they're gonna say and listening to them.
Yeah.
So I guess considering other people, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that's why
Mm.
I have all Christ Kingdom, because it's like the Lord blessed me with that, right? Is because now I have no choice but to get to know other people
Yeah.
and spread love and spread light, like not just be like, I don't like this person, I'm gonna catch them slipping.
Yeah.
So that's just real right there, where it's like not not going back to the street mentality, bro.
Yeah.
Organized crime, any
Yeah.
like that. That's for an individual like me, bro. That's was a big part of my life.
And I think too, something that, I mean, you speaking about all this, something that kind of just clicked to me is like value. It's like
Yeah.
you act those ways because you don't value yourself,
Oh
so you
yeah.
don't care about the
Oh yeah.
consequences. And I could think back of, I was in the military, but outside of the military too, in the streets, I've had guns pointed at my
Yeah.
face, and I didn't care.
Yeah.
And like now, I remember I was with my girl, and some like drunk driver was trying to like start something because
Yeah.
I cut him off, and she was like, "Oh, don't do anything, don't do anything." And all I could think about was like, "Oh, I have to like make sure she gets home safe, so
Yeah.
I can't start anything with
Yeah.
anybody." But before then, I didn't care about
Yeah.
anything. So I'm just
Yeah.
like, "Oh, well, I'm saved.
Yeah.
I'm saved now. I don't have the same mind. I don't have
Facts.
the same heart." So I think it's just valuing your life. You have a wife. Like
Yeah.
you can't make those impulsive
Yeah.
decisions because now you think of all these consequences, and it
Facts.
just that's a blessing. That's a
Yeah.
blessing for sure.
Yeah.
Um, so talking about these collaborations you want to do, I think a great topic to get into is like, how do you use discernment to know, and like the prayer that I meant, like we
Mm-hmm.
did in the beginning, like what do you do to know this is a connection that I should water or pour into, and then one that you're like, this isn't of God, or maybe they still need to grow a little bit
Yeah.
more. Like, how do you use discernment? And how are you actively, like, do you have any, like, not don't say no names, but like,
Yeah.
can you think of any like scenarios recently where you were like, man, I shouldn't, you know,
Yeah. Actually, I so first and foremost, every day, right? Like I try not to pray the same thing and to get, over,
yeah, that gets hard
you
sometimes.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
But every day I do pray that become more sensitive to the spirit. You know what I
Mm,
mean? That's one of my key prayers right there, because discernment is key. And at first I wanted to collab with everybody that said they were a Christian artist or
let's
minister. I
go.
was like, let's get on something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But recently, so with this song Change that we just
Yeah.
dropped, right? Uh and first and foremost, I want to thank God for that song, because it's one of my favorite songs
It's
that
dope.
that I've
It's so
heard in a
fire.
while.
Yeah.
Um and but with that song, I had previously had someone else on the second
Mhm.
verse, and uh they kind of showed who they were as a person, right?
Mm.
As where their heart was, and the Lord removed them from the situation. And then we had Sweezy get on it,
Mm.
and Chosen Few get on it, and the Lord just made it happen, right?
Yeah.
But I know that if we kept it to the how I wanted the other person on it, even after
Yeah, really?
I was like, I know I want them
Yeah,
on
yeah.
there.
And God was like,
The
no.
Lord was like, no. Like, no, this is what it's gonna be. This is who you're gonna shoot the video with. This is who you're gonna open up this song to at the event. Like, this is who you're doing it with.
Yeah.
And so glad.
Yeah.
So glad. But it breaks my heart because now I don't have that relationship with this individual. And I pray that the Lord continues to work on the hearts of ministers and artists that are full of self.
Yeah. So, that's a negative situation. Obviously, we talked about Angel, our
Yeah.
collaborations. Is there anybody else that you've like encountered since SoCal Revival Fest that you're like, oh, this is somebody that I gotta keep working with because their intentions are about the kingdom?
Yeah. So first of all, Angel, you guys for sure are the Christway family for sure. Who's really been on my heart lately is Mouth.
Really? Wow.
Like Mouth
His
and
testimonies
Mr. Ricky G. I don't know if you've heard of Mr. Ricky G.
Only because of you.
Yeah, Mr. Ricky G's my guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But those two are really have really been on my heart. And as far as like, I need to do a collab with them.
Yeah.
Like, I need to get on something with them because I know the Lord is gonna move that worship song.
Yeah, Mouth. Like, not to put his business out there, but like when he entered, I remember because I didn't like dive deep into everyone's whole life story, but like everyone who entered, I was like, all right, let me see what they're about. And I saw he kind of was still dabbling in some of that secular music, and that's the same style of music he liked. That's where I worked.
Yeah,
like he liked Tech Nine and all, and I worked with those artists. I worked with Strange Music, and when I picked him as a finalist, it was in my heart. I was just like, something told me, like the Holy Spirit, like this is an opportunity for him to get pulled away from that and see that like his passions can be used to glorify God, and there's a community where it's dope. It's not just like a corny music. It's like, it's really dope music.
Facts.
And so to see him use that opportunity and start dropping music, start doing more, I'm like, cool, like dope. Like,
it's
I just
crazy because when I heard him at Revival Fest, it was like, wait, what? Like, who is this cat, right? And then in my city in San Jacinto, 4th of July, my uncle was like, hey, come to my church. We're having like a little get together for 4th of July. We're like, all right, for sure. And Mouth and his mom and DJ Alex happened to be there, and I was like, oh yeah, like this and Mr. Ricky G.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, this is what the Lord wants.
Yeah.
Like, this is what the Lord wants. Yeah, man. So Mouth and Mr. Ricky G is who I'm really excited. To I know the Lord's gonna let us do a feature together.
Yeah. And then what about the other artists that you picked for the community outreach? How did you get, like, what was your inspiration to get them on there?
So Sweezy.
Yeah,
I know I mentioned Sweezy a lot.
Yeah.
Sweezy he's actually based out of my area.
Okay.
But he's from Alabama. My videographer Vibes does his music videos, and I heard his song that he dropped called Repertoire, and fell in love, bro.
Yeah.
Fell in love with his artistry, fell in love with who he was as a minister, like just fell in love with it, and was pursuing him to do a song, right?
Oh,
like, hey,
okay, yeah.
hey, I want to really work with, but he's not on social media like that.
Okay.
He's actually a foster dad. He got a gang of kids, so he's like dad first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then the ministry, God, his family, then his ministry.
Yeah.
And,
absolutely.
And so he's doing it the right way. And I'm like, all right. And then the Lord opened up some time for him to come out, and he's been fired up, bro. So I know that the Lord has been using me as a vessel because he's allowing me to bring some of these heavy hitters out that been on the shelf for a while, and it's time for them to come out. You know, TJ, he was there. He's a gospel singer, and I wanted some R&B or gospel music, not just hip hop, right? So he's based out of Hemet. Mr. Ricky G, of course.
Yeah.
I've met him at multiple events, and I just love his style. I just love his R&B style, man.
Yeah.
It's very old school,
Yeah,
and I
sure.
love it, man.
Yeah.
He's from Oakland, so he has some swag. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Chosen Few, love them, bro. They got back together as a group, I found out. And when I heard them get off on their mixtape, I was like, I have to have them in the mix. J Soul, yeah, he's based out of Hemet. His style's dope, bro. It's very West Coast too.
Yeah.
Love it. Um, uh, Adelpha Alonso, she's the mariachi singer that was there.
Okay.
I met her at an outreach that we did all the way in El Cajon, and we just fell in love with her music too.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, she has to be there. So I reached out, and everybody was all for it, bro.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people that I reached out to before, you know, they're like, oh, well, we need money, we need it. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. It's cool that you guys are on that level where you guys are doing that.
Yeah.
But everybody that I asked, bro, didn't ask for anything.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, we want to bless the community. And then I knew that the Lord had his hand
Yeah.
on this relationship. They were thinking about serving first before
Yeah.
anything, before themselves, you know?
Yeah. That's dope.
And then we had like 5 haircut people that I invited there that some of them were artists as well. They were gonna get a spot on there, but we had a gang of people getting haircuts, bro, that day. So,
And how did you how did they pull up? Is it just like anybody could get haircuts?
yeah, so so we did kids first, which that was enough because they cut over 150 kids' hair that day.
Wow.
They were there till 10:30, even after the event was done. They were there still cutting kids' hair. So salute to all the haircutters that came out.
Absolutely.
But yeah, yeah, bro. Since SoCal Revival Fest, bro, the Lord has been giving me situations, and I'm pretty sure a lot of individuals that have been obedient to His word as of late.
Yeah.
A lot of situations where it has no choice but to keep them fired up.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know, like you're not sleeping on them. Like, no.
And so many just so many opportunities. It's crazy. Like I talked about snowballs. Like so many people are starting to work with each other.
Yeah.
And I love seeing it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that was just one cipher.
Oh yeah.
Like one cipher thing. Like imagine we want to do those 4 times per year.
Yeah.
We talked about after we do the community outreach, the November one, doing another ciphers there. Like I'm just excited. Like my goal where, you say you're a social person. She has made me a little more social. I was like super introverted.
Yeah.
I would not like to talk to people. So I know something that I prayed a lot about was fellowship. I want to meet more like-minded people that are into music. And now it's just too many.
Yeah, there you go,
so
bro.
many. Such a great answered prayer. But with saying that, I'm sure there's other people like me out there too that are praying for that. So that's what I hope the cipher does is it just creates a connection and they could kind of keep going.
Amen.
And I just want Christway to be a stepping stone.
Yeah.
You use it, you get tapped into whatever, and then go flourish into whatever.
That's a blessing.
Yeah. So that's what I'm excited for. And then with the community outreach, we've talked about the right people. Everyone there, from what it sounds like, what you've said too, is they're okay with just evangelizing.
Yeah. So everybody on that flyer, right? Like everybody that we put on that flyer, even the ones that didn't make it on the flyer, right? They're so for evangelizing, right? And spreading the light and the love of God that, like we were discussing, if it doesn't go as planned for the concert, right, that they're gonna have some heavy hitters out there, to spread the word that we're there to do our job anyway, right? The concert is just the cherry, you know, the extra. But our main focus, right, whenever we do anything, with anybody, our main focus is to know that the community is going to be blessed. Like, put ourselves out of this, right? Like, whatever how we feel about it, but are the people that we're gonna be around gonna be served that day?
Yeah.
Because if they're not, then there's no point of us even going.
And there's so that's why I love doing it in Venice Beach, because there's gonna be so much foot traffic.
I haven't been there in years. So I'm when we go check it out.
Yeah.
And we'll yeah.
So with the climate, like the political climate, I do expect maybe a little blowback from the
Yeah.
community, but like I just hope that we're all in prayer and that we, like you mentioned, love.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to love on people.
Yeah.
Um, definitely not enable sin,
Yeah.
but like love on people and just be extensions of Christ, and that through us and how we maneuver through
Yeah.
those situations, they're like, hmm,
Yeah.
I want to be like
Yeah.
that. So, but I'm excited, and but I do think it's gonna work out. I
Yeah.
think we're gonna get the music going. It's
Yeah.
gonna be dope. They're gonna see music, and they're
Yeah.
gonna see that they don't need to go to the world to get
No.
dope Christian hip hop.
Amen.
Um, but I'm really excited about it, and that's this Saturday, September 21st. So going into the next segment, this is going pretty smooth.
Yes, sir.
I'll say this episode is going pretty good. But the next segment, before we get to the last one, is user submitted questions. So I just wanted to ask you. They're gonna be random. So
Okay,
I
cool.
know we've been having good
Yeah.
conversations. These are gonna be completely random. So the first one is, what has been the most memorable performance you've had? I mean, you said like you've collaborated with some big artists. I mean,
Yeah.
definitely secular side, but I'm sure those crowds were crazy.
Yeah, so I think the most memorable one where I was like, you know what, the Lord is really using me for this, would have been my second ministry event, and I got uh to minister my music at a Hog Mob show.
That's
So,
dope.
and those are people that, so first and foremost, Hog Mob is probably the people that made me want to do hip hop, because I was like,
Okay.
whoa, this sounds way
Yeah,
different.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's for a crowd like
Yeah.
my crowd, right? And I was like, oh yeah, I could do
Yeah.
I could do
I could
Christian
do
hip
that.
hop. If they're doing this, I could do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I think that one was my most memorable. But the one that I think made the most impact, right, for the kingdom, it was probably Revival Fest.
Yeah.
Because Revival Fest connected a lot of people
A
from
lot of people.
everywhere,
Yeah.
and it did what it was supposed to do,
Mhm.
and that was to build a greater kingdom for the
Yeah.
Lord. I'm so blessed and so humbled that I was there.
Yeah. No, bro. Like I didn't know you were gonna mention Revival Fest, so I was gonna throw it in. But
Okay.
like when we were up there and like seeing the crowd,
Yeah,
like so into it,
yeah,
I was just like, wait, this is different. Like something's different here. And I'm excited for the next
yeah.
one.
The lineup was crazy too,
It
bro.
was like
Like the
ridiculous.
lineup for the cipher, bro,
Yeah,
was God created
Yeah.
for sure, bro.
it was so dope.
Yeah,
It was so crazy, and I love the, like, each one. Obviously, Rails. Unfortunately, the both of them dropped. So
Yeah.
his cipher is just a verse.
that's another person that I want to do something with.
You got
Rel and Clever.
yeah. They're
Both of them, man. Not saying that I wouldn't do nothing with the rest, but
Yeah,
both
yeah.
of them for sure have been like, oh yes, I can
and
make
they're
some,
active online
I
too.
can
Like
make some
they're
ill,
really like
some
collaborative.
ill
Yeah.
music with them.
Did you know that they're brothers?
No,
Yeah, they keep that secret. I don't
Oh,
know why.
what?
Yeah, they're brothers.
they're dope.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
that's awesome, bro.
I was trying to get them to say it
That's
on their own.
dope,
Yeah,
bro.
but they didn't. But then when they submitted, I mean, I'm not gonna say
the
their
Lord's
government.
working on their family for sure. That's
Yeah,
awesome, bro.
Yeah. So I was just like, yeah, definitely gotta. I want them to do like something together for the Christway mixtape. But just the next one. I know Angel. His goal, I believe, was 4,000. Or I
Yeah.
believe he said on the podcast on Wednesday that he had me on, that God told him either 4,000 or 4,500, and boom, they had 4,500. So he said that God put it on him that they're gonna have 8,000 for
Yeah.
the next one, and I was just like, man, you guys could get 10,000.
Yeah,
like
amen.
the way, like
Amen.
they have so much data now.
Yeah.
That's something I want to talk to you about too. Is like with your events, like how do you do like how do you raise funds? Because like with him, now that he has data,
Yeah.
like hey, 4,500
Yeah.
people, now businesses are like, oh
Yeah.
I want to get my brand on there because that's at least that many people.
So All Christ Kingdom Ministries is all us. So basically, like whatever extra income we have on our paycheck,
Yeah.
we put it into the ministry. So we've had a few people in the beginning like shoot us um like paper plates,
Yeah.
things, silverware, and um our church helped us, like the few first ministries that went out with food cards so we can go to Stater
Yeah.
Brothers and stuff. Um, but I felt bad, asking people for
Yeah.
stuff, where I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna take some money off of my paycheck and make sure it goes to
Yeah.
the ministry, because I really, if this is the Lord's will, right? Like, it's put it on my heart to start a church on the street for the
Mhm.
homeless people. So just pop up at a park every Sunday and just do church, right? Um, so this is where I'm like, all right, well, everybody's going to their church. They're probably, giving their 10% to their church and things
Mhm.
like that. If they want to, if they find it in their heart to donate.
Yeah.
But I haven't really asked for donations from people. Um, so that's kind of where it gets funded, is through
Yeah.
through
You.
yeah, through us.
Yeah.
And my wife is a big part of this too. Without her, a lot of the things wouldn't
Yeah.
fall in place, because I get so drained sometimes.
Yeah. Bro, I bet after Revival Fest too is just
So
busy.
definitely. So I started off with like 200 followers, bro, right,
Mhm.
on my Instagram, and now I'm like 900,
Wow.
and my phone literally is like zzz,
Yeah.
zzz, zzz, zzz. And I get excited for it. I
Yeah.
I do get excited for it, but I'm trying to for sure, like, be like, all right, you got to stay on track.
Yeah.
You got to stay on track.
Yeah. I've been trying to do that too, like, because I've been in here
I
working
can
on
only imagine,
yeah,
bro.
like 12 hours a day. And I'm
Yeah,
just like, you know what? We're not married yet. But like I want to start implementing things where I set times so that when I do have a family, that my family
yeah,
ministry comes before. So I'm like trying to already implement, all right, from this time to this time, I'm not gonna be available.
yeah,
So I'm trying to kind of get in that mode too, because if not, I'll be in here
yeah.
working with people calls.
Yeah, definitely. I've been trying to make sure that my kids are are loved on too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Because it's like, you know what, I was just focused on music and the ministry, and like losing the
Yeah.
time where I needed to put the time in.
All right, got another user
All
submitted
right.
question. This one's a pretty good one. If you could collaborate with any artist, dead or alive, who would it be?
Oh, okay. So I think that I would collab with DMX.
Mm. Yeah, that'd be good because his testimony is pretty
His
crazy.
testimony is crazy,
Yeah.
bro. His testimony is kind of is very similar to mine,
Yeah.
and I think what he did, bro, throughout his life, he really made an impact, right?
Yeah.
And if he he sees what if he saw what if
Yeah.
see what was going on in hip hop today with CHH, I'm pretty sure he'd be like, all right,
Yeah.
I'm all in.
Yeah. No, and it's crazy too that through his testimony, I've been able to like sympathize for my
Yeah.
father more because he mentioned doing, I think it was crack, like
Mm-hmm.
young, like
Yeah.
under 10 years old. And my dad was doing like PCP and drugs like that at like a very young age too,
Yeah.
like 9 years old.
Yeah.
So I was able to sympathize with DMX. So how can I not understand
Yeah.
that my dad's brain
Yeah.
formed differently than
Yeah.
a regular human? So he's not gonna be the same. So like through that, which is crazy, I've been able to kind of like sympathize more. So what's like if you could go back in time, what's one piece of advice you'd give to yourself?
Stay off drugs.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna be honest,
Yeah.
like meth, and meth was one of those things where it literally ruined my whole life,
Yeah.
and God wiped out that
Yeah.
all away and gave me a new one. So now I can start over. But the past life I had, bro, I started using meth at 8. So it literally was, and I'm 32 now. So I've only been saved 3 years. So most of my life, I was on some type of drug.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, and meth, like I've seen it transform or destroy. I guess I'm just in the Christian mode. I use the terminology, but like destroy
Yeah,
lives, like
yeah,
jobs, marriages,
yeah,
relationships. Like in my house, I never did it, but like I've seen people do it and just horrible
yeah,
things. Like that drug is so bad. And fentanyl too. I've lost friends to fentanyl. And it's just crazy to like how you like pretty much cold turkey got off of it. Like
yeah. And
that's amazing.
he the Lord allows you free will, right? So it's like I made a decision one night to use it, and uh it ended in a bad way, bro.
Mhm.
Like kidnapped for 3 days, crazy stuff happened to me as an
Yeah.
adult, So it was like, oh yeah, I need the Lord.
Yeah.
Like I need these streets don't love nobody.
Yeah.
When they say, oh, that saying, like for real,
Yeah.
these streets do not love anyone.
Yeah.
And again, like all I've ever yearned for was love, right? And I
Mhm.
wasn't getting it from humans, so I had nowhere to go but God.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know how to love, and I wanted to know how to love, and I wanted love. So without God, I would never experience that ever in my life.
So if you would give advice to somebody who has a similar testimony
hmm
to you, would that be the same advice, or do you think you'd have something else beyond that? The
I think
drugs.
I would have another advice. It's don't look what's on this planet. Know
Mm.
that what we're dealing with here is just temporary. Like we have a greater place for us, and that's the kingdom of heaven.
Mm. Amen. I think mine. I'll just chime in with mine too. I was
Yeah,
just thinking about mine. I I think it would just be like to learn how to accept love. 'Cause
yeah,
I think that's the thing that I've struggled with the most in my life is like I don't believe maybe from traumas and stuff
yeah,
like that. Like it's almost like I don't see myself as lovable. So
yeah,
it's like every time someone says they love me I'm always like, you're gonna let me down
yeah.
eventually.
Well,
And that's
I
tough.
think with my version of love, right? I thought I loved better than everybody else, right? Like my love, if they didn't love like I did,
Mm, yeah.
they weren't true to me, right? But little did I know that the way I was loving
Was
was like way off, right?
yeah.
So when I did encounter Jesus and I meet somebody that is living this Christian life,
Yeah.
right? And they love the way that my God, loves or similar to it.
Mhm.
Um, then it makes me feel 100% better, right? Because in the life that I was living, there was no love.
Yeah.
So it's like now I'm meeting people, right,
Yeah.
that have that, and it's like, oh man, this is real.
Yeah.
This is real, and yeah. So that's what gets me going, bro. That's what keeps me.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? We got to spread as much love as possible. That right there.
Yeah. And plus that too is like I think what you're saying too is like I used to think that my love was right, but it was always like reciprocated
Yeah.
love. I would only
Yeah.
give it to you, and if I didn't, like I would, and that's not
Yeah.
Jesus love at
No, not
all.
at all.
Yeah,
Not
at
at
all.
all.
Um, I have one last question for the segments before we get to the last segment. But um, outside of music, what would you say is like a hobby that you have that keeps you grounded, like an outlet you
I
have?
love to cook.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
to. That's one of my things. Um,
What's your favorite like dish that you like? This is my best one.
um, I have no idea, truthfully.
Eggs, not
Not
playing.
like because I go in the kitchen, I go experiment, bro, and make some
Yeah.
fire stuff. But that's why I do the homeless ministry, because then I go out and bring my grill out,
Yeah.
and I can go be a chef for these people on the
Yeah.
street. You know what I mean? And yeah, so I love to cook. So like I said, I was telling the brother in here earlier that every gift that God has instilled in me,
Mm.
whether it's like an arts or craft thing, cooking, music, I'm literally trying to use it for the kingdom.
Yeah. So I don't know about mine.
Yeah, so cooking would be my second thing. So music and cooking would be is ideal for these outreaches that we're doing.
I'm trying to think of like
You know.
some content you could do. Some kind of
Yes,
cooking
sir.
show, cooking with M.O.G.
Yes, sir.
So we talked about 9 in the shelf, your songs, and you talking about a mixtape. Do you have? Are you gonna drop the 9 songs and then the mixtape,
So
or
I'm gonna drop 9 individual songs, and then I'm gonna drop it as a whole
okay?
mixtape together.
All right. And then are you free to share any like collaborations you have on there? Or you want
Yeah.
to keep
So
it?
I got. Um, I'm gonna have Mr. Ricky G on it.
Mm,
I'm gonna have Mouth on it.
yeah.
Like the song hasn't been dropped yet, but the Lord is telling me I'm gonna have
Yeah.
Mouth on it. And I got Chosen Few on it. Sweezy. I got Rebel the rapper. He's from the Watchman Motorcycle Ministry.
Mm,
Um, yeah, that's so far who I have right now.
yeah.
Oh, I got a guy from Croatia. He's a vegan. He does vegan rap. His name is I Feel, and he's based out of Croatia. I got a song with him on there too. So my music is out there as well.
What is vegan rap?
So basically, he talks about how it's wrong to use animals for food and
Oh,
put
okay.
them in a cage and things like that. And he's actually like one of like the top artists
Oh,
out
really?
there in
Croatia.
Europe, in Croatia.
That's dope. Definitely got to get clever.
Yeah. So
Braille.
I have to get them for sure. I have to get them. I think I would want to get on one of their songs though.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I
No,
mean?
they're dope.
Like, cause the way they set up their things is very vibey, bro.
Did Angel tell you that he's managing a church now?
No,
Yeah.
but I know that me and Angel's been talking about him doing the same for me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he talked to me about it because I mean I've done entertainment
Yeah.
business and then
Yeah.
they did do a lot of courses on artist management. So I was just like, it's definitely gonna be
Yeah.
tough if he wants to keep rapping.
Yeah.
Because as a manager, that's a
Oh yeah.
full-time
Yeah.
job. And especially
Yeah.
what he's doing.
I for sure need some artist development. Like I've been under
Yeah.
a rock for the last like 12 years. So when it comes to like Instagram, TikTok, things like that, I barely got on stuff like that. And I do not know how to maneuver around it,
Yeah.
right? So I for sure need help
Yeah.
with that if I'm gonna keep up, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
No, absolutely.
I'm
And
used
it,
to the era where you're passing out CDs, bro.
yeah.
So
Street
I'm
teams.
literally like in that era
Yeah.
right now. And they're like, well, it's not a bad era, but
Yeah.
you gotta find your way in it. I'm not trying to get taken over by it.
Yeah.
Like I have to make a video right now or make a reel right now or make like no, like I'm still trying to be who the Lord has
Yeah.
called me to be still though.
No, but it's good that you have that like street team
Mhm.
experience too, because I think a lot of people are now denying that.
Yeah.
And word of mouth is, I think, even
Yeah.
better than social media now,
Yeah.
because a lot of people will see stuff and they forget about
Yeah.
it. But like that person to person thing, I think is really
Yeah.
beneficial. But yeah, me and him have been talking about like working on some marketing stuff to kind of help artists
Yeah.
too. So hopefully like you get
Yeah.
involved with that and
Yeah,
it'll
heck
help
yeah.
you out. Yeah. That'll be super dope. Um, so when it comes to your career,
Mm-hmm.
where do you see yourself in all Christ kingdom in like 5 years? Like what do you see yourself doing?
I see us as a street ministry, like we're a church actually on our streets, and we're helping people out as far as getting into homes that are Christ based, and uh, us being used as vessels in our community to get souls saved.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's our main goal, bro. Is to one soul at a time.
Yeah.
One soul at a time. It's hard. It's hard to see my brothers and sisters out there going through what they're going through. A lot of them are doing it to themselves, but it's harder to see nobody going up to them and giving them a hug
Yeah.
or a smile or even just chopping it up with them. I think that's the hardest part for me
Yeah.
to see,
Because of your testimony.
just because where I came from. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So it's like, like I said, the Lord picked me for this
Yeah.
time because
Absolutely.
who else?
Mhm.
Who better? You know what I mean? And it's like, well, I'm here. Like
Yeah.
I might as well. He brought me up. Out of all the things that we've been through for this moment. So might as well just do it.
Yeah. And it's dope that you're saying that too, like with your experience with shows. Definitely trying to get Angel involved. Saint Sakani, we were just talking about what he plans on doing. And it's like a lot of it is very similar. So I 100% believe that we're all gonna be
Yeah.
collaborating on like pop-up
Yeah.
tours, like a tour
Yeah.
community outreach. Like that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like that's
And,
definitely
and I'm a firm believer in, there's no coincidences, right? Like this is
yeah.
all what God's plan
Yeah.
is. So if he's giving me an idea that's similar to you, and you're having the same idea,
Yeah.
it's like this is all God's work.
Yeah.
So it's like
Let's make it happen.
let's make it happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Well, I think that's a great way to end it. Let's
Yes,
keep it
sir.
exciting, this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Bro, thank you so much for blessing. I already knew like you coming on was going to be a conversation.
Amen.
I would keep talking, but we definitely got
Yes, sir.
we got things to do.
Yes,
But I
sir.
already knew it was going to go that smooth, but bro, I appreciate
I
you for
appreciate
blessing
you
it,
guys
bro.
for having me out. It's a blessing to be able to serve with you guys.
Yeah. Amen, bro.